Foresty Forest is one of the best Canadian YouTube channels run by Simon Lamberts, a blue-eyed brunette who is not just a YouTuber but also a cyclist. But what else do we need to know about Foresty Forest? Number 1. Simon Foresty Forest is currently dating a beautiful lady known as Kira, as he disclosed in a recent Instagram post and a YouTube video dubbed The Backcountry Van Life. Number 2. He did all kinds of jobs before pursuing vlogging to document his appealing outdoor lifestyle. He notes that he has done anything imaginable under the sun, including welding, CNC fabrication, and woodworking. He also worked on giant hydraulic presses, all involved in different assembly and manufacturing processes. He's also worked in the manufacturing, food processing, and production industries. But despite doing all these, he never felt like he fit or was following his passion. So, in many ways, he was just there for the money, nothing else. Something kept him going. In between his menial jobs, he went on bicycle tours across the North American perimeter. Number 3. He has cycled long distances. Some of these long tours meant that he covered more than 50,000 kilometers. And these tours were all self-supported. These tours took him through Newfoundland, Florida, and he went as far as Mexico. He also cycled from Alaska to California and the interior sections of America and Canada. Number 4. Stealth camping. Foresty Forest has been through extraordinary experiences in different forests, and on one of these camping trips, he spent an entire year sleeping in a tent and practicing stealth camping. His camping allowed him to enjoy cycling and touring the mountains, hills, rivers, valleys, and the rest of the countryside. Surviving outdoors all year round also reignited his love for cycling and touring, mainly because it was one of the cheapest ways for him to get around, have fun, and live his best life. Number 5. He's been on more adventures than most of us. Simon notes that on one of his excursions, he ended up sleeping on the side of a golf course. So, in the middle of the night, the sprinklers went off, and he was soaking wet after it all and had to take out everything. He had to spend the rest of the night at a bus stop. He's also had to shelter in a trench during a flash flood while cycling in Alaska, and he was almost wiped out completely, with about 50 people staring at him. Number 6. He was once kidnapped by a cartel in Mexico while sleeping at an abandoned house during one of his many excursions. He was kidnapped late at night, but this wasn't funny. Number 7. Simon gets quite anxious around crowds, especially in small spaces. He is essentially an introvert who loves his quiet. He is also a bit shy, prefers comfort, and hates airplanes and boats because of the possibility of being trapped. He also enjoys his freedom and cuts loose in his special way. He prefers cycling on pavements, gravel, and single-track roads, especially in the wilderness. Coupled with his love for backpacking, Simon has been able to explore the wildest, most beautiful mountains unshackled. Number 8. He started living in a van after realizing he'd traverse more mountains and live more comfortably in the van rather than on his bike. While he never imagined that this could happen to him since he was broke when he started out his biking and backpacking journey, it is his life right now, and he loves it. Before van camping, he lived in the cheapest living quarters that he could find, and he'd take a bus to cities. He also worked overtime all the time, so he'd only travel after 4 months or so after he'd saved up just enough. At some point, he had to share basement space with 2 other guys, and the house had a whole family upstairs whose kids kept crying and couldn't stop stomping on the floors. And the guys he shared the basement with were complete slobs, living in the messiest space with dirty dishes and clothes all over. Number 9. He quit his job at the recycling plant in 2019 because, at that point, he was earning a bit of money from YouTube. At this time, he also moved west, settling in Calgary. When he tried looking for other jobs afterward, he wasn't lucky. But then, things changed that time after one of the videos he posted on living in a minivan went viral. And he knew then that he'd want to give the van life a go. His van is a 4x4 stealthily built and has his fat bike for touring. Number 10. He earns a good amount from his Patreon page.